Hey everyone, my name is Franz Jacobs and welcome back to another episode on the Band of Insiders podcast. It's a new week, so we have a new feature episode ready for you guys. The focus of these feature episodes is to explain complicated topics or bigger picture thinking and true deep dives on anything that has to do with innovation, technology, AI, everything that's happening in the world around it. Today is an overview of the AI industry, so I'm very excited to share with you how to look at this industry in very broad terms. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Today's feature is titled The AI Stack Explained, 7 Layers That Are Driving Growth. I think we can all agree that the world is changing fast and that AI will revolutionize entire industries, if not all of them, and our way of living. How the world will look like in 2035, for example, will be hard to imagine if you ask me. Some big questions I sometimes ask myself are, for example, what does work look like? Will that even be a thing anymore? Will the global balance of power shift because of all of this? How does a world of abundance look like? Can we get rid of inequality, for example? Will AI control all major decisions on governmental levels? How will daily life look like? A lot more fluid versus the now rigid? I can go on and on. You might also wonder how to benefit from it besides making sure to stay on top of things and take your business or work to a new level. In order to give you a possible better understanding of where growth will happen, we today are going to talk about investing. So I guess this is the right moment to state it clearly. This is not financial advice or investment advice for that matter. The goal of this article is to give you a better understanding of how to look at the AI industry from a wide perspective, so you have the whole playing field in sight when placing your bets. Therefore, the companies I will name in this podcast are not my picks or any sort of advice whatsoever. Additionally, I'm mostly focused on the more Western markets instead of China and others. Not all companies on the below overview might be public or investable. Always do your own research, and with that, let's dive in. So let me state this clearly, the AI industry is not one thing. We have talked about it many times before. AI is not a single tool, a single company, or just one solution that everyone can buy. It's general technology that can be implemented anywhere and everywhere. What does this mean for investing? Let's start by zooming out. When most people talk about investing in AI, they immediately think of two names, NVIDIA and OpenAI, which, by the way, is still private and not available in public stock markets. That's like looking at the car boom of the 1900s and only buying Ford stock. Sure, Ford was important, but the real boom touched steel makers, tire companies, oil refineries, and even the builders of highways. And entire ecosystems rose with it. AI is the same story. It's not one company, it's an economy. You can think of it as a stack with several layers and orbits. At the core sit the foundation models and algorithms, the OpenAIs and Anthropics of the world. Then, surrounding that core is the infrastructure, the chips that train models, the hyperscalers that host them, the energy that powers them, and the security that protects them. And last but not least, beyond infrastructure lies the application layer. The tools, robotics, and financial rails where AI becomes tangible in everyday life and business. Once you see it this way, the field of opportunity gets much wider. Betting only on NVIDIA or on OpenAI is like buying Apple in 2007, but ignoring Qualcomm, who provide chips, Foxconn, who do assembly, or the App Store ecosystem with all its applications. You'd be missing the bigger story. So let's widen the lens. To make this practical, I have broken down the AI economy into 7 buckets. Think of these as the categories where growth, disruption, and opportunity are most likely to show up. I'm going to share these 7 buckets with you now. Chips, the foundation layer. Every AI model is powered by chips. The faster and cheaper they get, the more ambitious AI becomes. Without this layer, the entire AI revolution stalls. The battle for chips has become a global power race. The dominance of NVIDIA has scared many companies and even global superpowers. The United States has restricted NVIDIA from selling their best chips to China, for example. Even today, breaking news, China has now banned NVIDIA from selling its products to China. Interesting enough, some people claim this kind of backfired as the AI breakthroughs coming from China not only happened because of these restrictions, but it also has woken up China's manufacturing power. For example, Huawei is rapidly ramping up its chip capabilities. So now let's look at some key players in this foundational layer. NVIDIA, of course, dominates the GPU market with over 80% market share in AI training chips. Its CUDA software system makes it hard to switch away. Then there's AMD, closing the gap with its MI300 series, offering competitive performance at lower cost, a real second supplier to watch. Then Intel, still struggling, but betting big on Gaudi accelerators and foundry services. If it executes, it could really re-enter the game. TSMC, the world's most advanced chip manufacturer. Every NVIDIA, AMD, and Apple AI chip relies on TSMC's fabs. TSMC, located in Taiwan, is a global treasury and therefore in the middle of the global power battle, as China still wants and believes Taiwan to be a part of China. If this happens, it could have major repercussions for the Western technology world. ASML, our national pride, the Dutch firm that makes EUV lithography machines. Without ASML, no one can manufacture the leading-edge chips that AI depends on. They are the bottleneck behind the bottleneck and currently one of the most important companies in the world. Then a lovely outlier, Grok, a serious newcomer with a unique tensor streaming architecture. Known for blistering inference speeds, it shows that challengers can innovate outside the NVIDIA mold. Actually, they just announced a $750 million investment round, so keep an eye on them. And then there's Tesla, or XAI, developing its own AI 5 chip, expected in 2026, designed for robotaxis, Optimus humanoid robots, and Tesla data centers. Musk claims it will be 40 times more powerful than Tesla's current chip. Unlike NVIDIA products, it will likely remain Tesla exclusive, but it's a clear move to reduce dependency on NVIDIA and vertically integrate AI hardware like Apple did with its M-series chips. So for this layer, the takeaway, chips are the picks and shovels of the AI boom. Whoever makes them cheaper and more efficient will stay upstream of every AI application. But don't underestimate the geopolitics. This layer is where national power struggles over AI will play out further. Let's look at the next bucket, the so-called hyperscalers, the landlords of compute. Chips are the foundation, but chips alone don't run AI. You need to connect thousands of them into giant data centers. That's what the hyperscalers do. They stack GPUs into clusters the size of football fields, cooled by rivers of electricity. Every time you type a prompt into ChatGPT, Midjourney, or Perplexity, that request is powered by compute from one of these giants. In practice, every consumer and business using AI is paying rent to the hyperscalers. So, let's look at some of the key players. First off, Microsoft, or Azure, partnered with OpenAI early and integrated GPT models across Office, Teams, and GitHub. Azure is now positioned as the most AI-native cloud platform. Then there's Google with Google Cloud, a research powerhouse with its own TPU chips, rolling AI into search, ads, YouTube, and workspace while serving enterprises with custom AI infra. Then Amazon, or AWS, the largest cloud provider by revenue, less consumer-facing but critical for enterprise adoption. Oracle, long the outsider, now a major player. In September 2025, Oracle signed a $300 billion deal with OpenAI to provide compute over the next 5 years, one of the biggest cloud contracts in history. This cements Oracle as a hyperscaler to watch, especially with its Stargate project, as they are building 4.5 gigawatt AI data centers with OpenAI, SoftBank, and the US government. Then of course there's the Chinese hyperscalers, Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, racing to build vast clusters for domestic AI needs. With US export restrictions, they are forced to develop local supply chains and architectures. So, takeaway. Compute comes from chips, and hyperscalers are the ones who stack and connect those chips into usable AI power. With the OpenAI Oracle mega deal, the market is no longer just the big three, aka Microsoft, Amazon, Google. Oracle has forced its way into the conversation. Interesting developments there and something to look out for in the near future. Next bucket, applications. If chips are the picks and hyperscalers are the landlords, Applications are the towns springing up along the frontier. This is the layer where consumers and businesses actually see AI. Productivity tools, creative platforms, healthcare breakthroughs, gaming, legal automation all sit here. This is also definitely the most challenging category, as it's hard to predict who will last with these speeds of change. For example, software. What will happen to software in general? In my article titled "The Future of Work Looks a Lot Like a WhatsApp Group," I argue that software might be changed by just for you apps and applications that just last a few days or few weeks, just like how we now watch content. Now, some key players and interesting startups to look into when it comes to the application layer. Some are public, some are still private. Adobe, embedding generative AI directly into Photoshop, Premiere, and Illustrator. They're doing absolutely great, actually, in my opinion. Canva, democratizing design with AI tools for teams and brands. Runway, Gen AI-powered video editing and content creation. Synthesia, AI avatars and video generation for training and enterprise comms. Higgsfield, mobile-first generative video aimed at creators. Absolutely check it out. 11 Labs, industry-leading AI voice generation and dubbing. Now also music. Perplexity, AI-powered search engine challenging Google's dominance. Now also with their own AI browser. Midjourney, high-quality image generation with a strong creator economy. Character AI, AI companions and character chats with mass consumer adoption. And then there's of course the vibe coders, Cursor, Replit, Lovable, AI-native coding environments and co-pilots who have absolutely crushed it in terms of users and valuation. So this is where AI turns into a user experience. The chips and clouds stay invisible. The applications are what people pay for directly. The main takeaway? Applications are the most exciting, but also the riskiest part of the AI stack when it comes to investing. A few of today's scrappy startups will become the next $100 billion giants, but most will vanish or disappear. For investors, the safer plays are the incumbents embedding AI into their platforms, for example, Adobe. But the big upside bets are in the startups with defensible moats, of course. I do believe a bunch of them will remain. Who the winners will be is just hard to predict. I have mentioned many times before that I think the real battle for consumer AI will happen on the application layer, as I believe the intelligence itself will become a commodity. Meaning, who will create the stickiest, easiest to use, most interesting features where users will want to pay for and stay with? That's the big question, if you ask me. Robotics, next bucket, AI in the physical world. Robotics is where AI leaves the screen and enters the real world. Smart models plugged into capable hardware, machines that can walk, lift, deliver, and assemble. Robots don't get tired, don't need breaks, and only get better with more data. As AI advances, the line between software agent and physical worker starts to blur. There's a bunch of super interesting companies working in this field. Let's look at the key players. First off, Tesla with its Optimus robot, building humanoid robots designed to work in factories and eventually households. There's Boston Dynamics, famous for its dog robot and humanoid robots, now testing logistics and industrial use cases. There's Figure AI, a leading humanoid robotics startup backed by major investors and corporate partners who just announced a massive $1 billion investment round. Agility Robotics, focused on warehouse and logistics robots like Digit. Ubitech, a Unitary, Chinese robotics companies scaling humanoids and quadrupeds rapidly. Awesome tech. NVIDIA, with their Cosmos platform, powering robot training in simulated 3D worlds, accelerating their development. So, big takeaway. Robotics turns AI into labor. If chips are the picks and hyperscalers the landlords, robots are the workforce. The cost of robot labor is falling fast, and as adoption scales, this could reshape entire industries from logistics to manufacturing. If you want to read more, I wrote a deep dive article about it a few months back titled "The Robot Next Door, How Close Are We to Tomorrow?" Please note, I published this article on March 6, 2025, meaning some information could already be outdated. That's the downside of a fast-moving topic like we discuss every week. Next bucket, energy. The oxygen supply, something that a lot of people forget about. AI runs on electricity. Estimates suggest training GPT-4 consumed tens of gigawatt hours of electricity, which means thousands of US homes' annual use, though exact figures aren't public. Scale that to thousands of models plus the inference cost of billions of daily prompts, And you see why energy is the oxygen of the AI revolution. Without cheap, abundant, reliable energy, the whole system chokes. This also makes energy a hidden bottleneck and a massive opportunity. Whoever solves AI's hunger for power through renewables, nuclear, or grid innovation becomes essential to the entire stack. So let's look at some key players. Nuclear startups, ACL, TerraPower, Helion, Commonwealth Fusion, Valor Atomics. They're all betting on fusion to deliver dense, clean power for data centers. Renewables, NextEra, Ørsted, Enel. Scaling wind and solar capacity, often tied to hyperscaler long-term contracts. Utilities and grid tech, Duke Energy, Siemens, Schneider Electric. Modernizing transmission and building smarter grids to handle surging demand. And then there's Tesla Energy, deploying batteries and solar to complement its AI compute ambitions. So the takeaway here, chips and hyperscalers get the headlines, but energy is the true constraint. The AI revolution won't be limited by imagination or capital. It will be limited by how much clean power we can generate and move. Something very important to keep in mind to see where this is going and if these choke points can be resolved in the near future. Next bucket, security, the seatbelt. As AI systems grow more powerful and more embedded in critical infrastructure, security becomes non-negotiable. The stakes are high, protecting valuable model weights, preventing AI-driven cyber attacks, and ensuring sensitive data isn't leaked or manipulated. In short, AI needs a seatbelt before the ride gets too fast. Please note, this is the area I am least knowledgeable about, so this is all just information, again, no recommendations whatsoever. Having said that, let's look at the key players. Palo Alto Networks, expanding its platform to detect and defend against AI-powered threats. CrowdStrike, endpoint protection leader, now training AI models to spot anomalies at scale. Cloudflare, sitting at the edge of the internet, crucial for filtering malicious AI-driven traffic. Darktrace, using AI to fight AI with adaptive cyber defenses. Then multiple startups, Hidden Layer, Robust Intelligence, Lakera, focus on securing AI models themselves, from prompt injection to data poisoning. Major takeaway, if chips are the picks and hyperscalers the landlords, security is the seatbelt. As AI systems power banks, grids, healthcare, and defense, the cost of failure skyrockets. Expect this sector to become one of the fastest growing and most strategically important in the AI economy. Then last but not least, the financial, or in my opinion, crypto rails, the money layer. AI agents won't just think, they'll transact. Paying for data, services, or other agents requires rails that are fast, programmable, and always online. Traditional finance wasn't built for autonomous 24/7 commerce. Or, do you think AI agents will be able to open up its initial bank account? I don't think so. That's why crypto, and more specifically Ethereum, may become the financial nervous system of the AI age. Ethereum is already positioning itself as the coordination layer for AI. The Ethereum Foundation just launched the DAI team, which is going to work on the AI economy on Ethereum, enabling agents and robots to pay and coordinate without middlemen. A decentralized AI stack, keeping AI open, censorship resistant, and verifiable. Standards like ERC 8004 for proving agent identity are early steps towards making Ethereum the trusted settlement layer for human plus AI economies. Then of course there's Bitcoin, the reserve asset of the machine economy. While Ethereum builds the rails for programmable payments, Bitcoin stands as the neutral, non-sovereign store of value, digital hard money for agents and humans alike. Google is doing interesting things in this field as well. In September 2025, Google introduced the Agentic Payments Protocol, and Coinbase added X402, a stablecoin extension. Together, they allow AI agents not just to talk to each other, but to pay each other directly. That means a research agent can pay an archive agent per document crawled. A bug finder agent can charge cents per issues flagged. A support agent can instantly compensate a translation agent. In a demo with Lowy's Innovation Lab, agents handled shopping end-to-end, research, inventory, payment, and checkout, and settled instantly in stablecoins. This is agent-to-agent commerce in action. The takeaway here, Ethereum provides the programmable money layer, Bitcoin provides the neutral reserve, and new protocols like Google's agent payment protocol with Coinbase's X402 show how agents will actually transact. Now let's put it all together. When people think of investing in AI, they usually picture NVIDIA's GPUs or OpenAI's models. But as we have seen now, the AI revolution is an ecosystem play. Chips provide the raw horsepower, hyperscalers connect them into usable compute, applications turn that compute into tools for businesses and consumers. Robotics bring AI into the physical world, energy keeps the whole system running, security makes sure it doesn't crash, and financial rails give AI agents a way to transact. Each bucket is its own growth story. Together, they form the AI economy. That's the real insight. Don't look for one big winner. Look for the categories that AI can't function without. That's where durable value will be created. The AI revolution will not be won by one company or one country. It's a stack of interdependent players. If you want to benefit from it, don't chase the headlines. Learn to see the whole playing field. That's how you place smarter bets, whether in the market or in your own business. The future is exciting, and I hope we will ride that wave together, full of joy and prosperity. Last but not least, final disclaimer, nothing in this podcast is financial advice. The goal is simply to give you a wider perspective on how the AI economy is structured, so you can understand the playing field before deciding where to place your own bets. Always do your own research. And with having that said, this is the end of this week's feature episode. Thank you again for watching or listening as always. And please don't forget to subscribe, leave a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. And hopefully I'll see you again next week. Thank you. Peace.